Very excited. We're going to switch gears a little bit. This is Thanksgiving after all. And as Dr. Barnard said earlier, this is the most dangerous time of year for Americans. This is when we let our diets go. We start packing on the pounds until the new year when everybody goes back on a diet and the cycle continues. So let's see if we can clean things up and make sure that things aren't so difficult for you come the new year. So helping us here on the exam room is Susan Levin, a registered dietitian here with the Physicians Committee. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a complete pleasure of mine. So I wanted to bring you on, and I wanted to ask you a very important question, one that I've been wondering since I went plant-based, and that is what happens to your body when you eat a plant-based Thanksgiving dinner versus the traditional one with the sausage gravy, the turkey, the whole trimmings, exactly what you've been brought up with your entire life. What is the difference kind of metabolically speaking, Susan?
Well, I bet you could probably guess a little bit. And I'm going to start with what happens when you eat poorly any time of year. First of all, every meal actually makes a difference. When you eat a meal that is really high in fat, as any meal that has meat or dairy products is going to be, you are immediately taxing your body's whole vascular system. Your triglycerides start to go up, your cholesterol is starting to rise, your blood is getting thicker, and that's immediate, and it builds on itself hour after hour after hour. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And you can imagine what kind of diseases that's associated with, because it's exactly the kind of diseases from which we all suffer in this country: heart disease, diabetes, cancer. Secondly, when you eat really well, you eat very low in fat, you eat the plant foods that have just enough fat that you need to be healthy and are very high in fiber and very high in all the other wonderful nutrients, antioxidants, phytochemicals, all those multiple syllable words you've heard of and are good for you, then you're fighting off all those diseases. You're doing the exact opposite. And if I can, I would like to bring into bring travel into this discussion about what happens, because there are a few things that are associated with travel that can be negative, can impact your body negatively, and that's your immune system, hydration, blood flow, and mood. And when you eat a high-fat diet, it is going to put more stress on your body. It's going to make your blood thicker. All that fat in your body is not going to let your white blood cells do their job, which is to fight off those colds that you might get during this time of year. And we all know that stress and travel, or maybe it's stress and family. I don't know. I'm not judging.
Well, I was just going to ask, like, could a healthier diet then prevent the Thanksgiving squabbles? Like.
Yes, because the more fiber you have in your diet, the more you're flushing out toxins, which will help support your immunity. Keeping hydrated, so eating things like fruits and soups and of course, just drinking water will also flush out a lot of those toxins and keep you healthy and help prevent you from, your defenses from getting low and you catch a cold or just don't feel so well. Blood flow, if your blood isn't flowing properly, of course, that's going to put you at higher risk for things like blood clots, which, believe it or not, if you travel by plane or if you're traveling in a car or a train where you're just sitting for long periods of time, that is a risk for people. And then in cultures where they don't eat high-fat foods and they eat lots of fiber, blood clots, like from traveling, these are things that don't even exist in those cultures. But certainly mood, and we've seen studies that show people who eat plant-based diets have less depression, less stress, less anxiety. And doesn't that sound really nice during the holidays? Do we really need more of that? So there's a lot of reasons to eat this way any time of year, but I really think it's important this time of year.
Now, one of the things that is really associated with Thanksgiving is the food coma. You know about the food coma. We overeat and then we just kind of hibernate for the rest of the day. I'm curious, if you eat a vegan dinner, are you less likely to go into that food coma?
I think it depends on what that vegan dinner looks like. Mm-hmm. I could certainly induce a vegan coma with a nice vegan cherry pie. But if you are eating, again, if you're focusing on low fat, so you're not having creamed corn, but you're eating the corn, or you're eating green beans that aren't smothered in oil, but more fresh and more steamed or baked or sautéed without oil, you're going to fare a lot better. But you can still eat all your favorite foods. You can have the cranberry sauce, but you just need to make it so that it's not laden with fats and oils, and you're not only going to feel better, but at the end of the holiday, you're not going to be the statistic who gained 5 pounds and could only get rid of the 4 pounds, and then you gained that annual 1 pound that over the course of 10 years leads to a 10-pound weight gain.
Yeah.
So don't be a statistic, and feel better and be healthier and support your body even during the holidays. It is possible.
I was reading the average American consumes 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving Day alone. 4,500. That's 2.5 days worth of food for,
that is,
again, the average American. That's a lot.
Right. And I'm guessing the average American isn't going out there and running, the 20 miles it would take to burn off those calories, because you cannot exercise off a bad diet or that many calories for most of us.
Yeah, you're lucky on Thanksgiving Day if you get like a little backyard football game going, something like that.
Right.
That's typically pre-dinner, because once you get that food in you, like it's lights out.
It's over.
True or false? Turkey has a lot of protein in it. There's no questioning that. But one of the common misconceptions about a plant-based diet is that you don't get enough protein, which is absolutely ridiculous, as you know. But I wanted to ask you this, because I was also reading where your body burns more calories digesting protein than it does fats and carbohydrates. Is this accurate?
Actually, I've never heard that. In fact, I'm more familiar with the research behind the higher metabolism from eating carbohydrates.
Oh.
So we've actually done research at the Physicians Committee to show that when you eat a carb-heavy meal, so say you wake up and you have oatmeal for breakfast, you will burn a fraction of more calories. So you've bumped up your metabolism a little bit for longer throughout that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard the opposite, and over the course of many days, even if you're just bumping up your metabolism a fraction, you're burning more calories, even though you might be eating the same amount of calories, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what I love about this podcast is, there are so many things that float around in the internets, the interwebs, as the kid calls it. So we're bringing a little bit of truth to the table. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
The last thing I kind of wanted to touch on also, it's kind of a simple question, but I think one that a lot of people are wondering. Digestion time. Again, we already talked about the food coma. If you forego the turkey, the sausage gravy, the deviled eggs, all of that stuff that you shouldn't be eating, and you stick with a vegan dinner, are you going to digest that a little bit more quickly, or would the traditional dinner stay with you a little bit longer?
Okay, so let me see if I understand, because the first thing that pops into my head is my favorite 5-letter word, fiber.
Right.
Now, fiber, because that's only found in plants, and hopefully the plants you're eating are closer to whole, so they have more fiber in them, are going to actually digest slower.
Mm-hmm. So
you're going to feel fuller for longer as the food slowly breaks down and gets out into your bloodstream, giving you a nice even keel energy level. So it has lots of benefits other than just feeling even, feeling full on fewer calories. With fiber comes all those healthful nutrients, antioxidants, phytochemicals. So very supportive of health for many reasons. So I would say that when you're eating that heavy plant-based meal, you're actually going to digest things more slowly and feel very even-keeled and fuller longer. And, bonus, not to get too graphic, but fiber is a carbohydrate.
Yes.
But it doesn't digest. So it's coming back out.
Right on.
So even if you ate 500 calories worth of lots of plants, a fraction of that is coming back out. And it's coming back out either as it went in, which is called insoluble fiber, or having scraped out your insides, by the way, not being lazy. And then there's the soluble fiber that I like to compare to flypaper or gum, and it attaches to all that cholesterol and excess hormones and excess toxins and pulls all that out with it. So I get so excited talking about fiber, like most Americans, right?
Well, that kind of makes me also think that you'll be less inclined to go back for seconds because you're going to be full.
Absolutely. And that's, again, good rule at Thanksgiving, good rule at the holidays, good rule all year long, because when you're eating all these really heavy fibrous foods and they're just kind of sitting there, and you think, I must have eaten 2,000 calories for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Much less 4,000. No, it's impossible, because it's fewer calories in those foods. Then some of those calories aren't going to digest, and you feel pretty satisfied.
Real quick, 30 seconds or less. What are you serving for Thanksgiving this year?
Oh my gosh, I'm secretly considering ordering one of those vegan meals from a popular health food store. But I do love making cranberry sauce, because I used to love cranberry sauce in a can, but yuck. So now I make it with real cranberries. I use a little maple syrup and lemon juice, and then I get to eat all I want.